Hi, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Bera and today I'm going to show you how I created this animation on Procreate using my iPad. Quick note before we start, I'm just a hobby animator, so my methods might not be the most professional, but they work for me and I hope you'll find them helpful too. Today, I'm walking you through my entire process. So if you've been wanting to learn how to animate or are just curious to see how it's done, stick around and let's get into it. First things first, I always start by turning on Animation Assist. It basically adds a timeline at the bottom of the screen, which makes managing your frames super easy. Just go to the wrench icon, tap Canvas and switch on Animation Assist. Now you're good to go. I usually start with a rough sketch of the idea. This is just to get the concept down. Nothing fancy, just loose shapes and lines to figure out what's happening in the scene. It's all about getting the basic motion and flow sorted out at this stage. After the initial sketch, I move on to the keyframes, which are the main poses or movements in the animation. These keyframes set the structure. They are like the big checkpoints that guide the entire animation. I keep these rough, focusing more on the movement than the details. By the way, I always recommend using a reference. For this scene, I used a photo of my own hand. Next, I start sketching out the rough animation by adding in between frames, but still keeping it simple like a sketch. This helps me map out the timing and flow of the animation before committing to detailed work. This is just an in-between step, but before I move on to line art and coloring, I usually split my animation into different projects on Procreate because of the layer limits. This way I can manage the layer count and still get all the details I need without hitting those Procreate layer limits. Now it's time for cleanup. This is where I go over the rough sketches with clean line art. It's definitely a bit of a grind, but it's satisfying to watch everything tighten up and start to look like an actual animation. For coloring, I like to use the reference tool because it speeds things up a lot. I set the line art as the reference layer, and then I can fill in the color on a separate layer without affecting the lines. It's a real time saver, especially when you've got a lot of elements to work with. To add some effects, I create a new layer filled with a dark color. Here I used dark green. Set it to multiply and drop the exposure. For glows, I duplicate the layer of the glowing object, put it underneath and apply Gaussian blur. Usually I change the color a bit to make it pop out more. These glowing layers then sit on top of the dark layer which I mentioned earlier, which helps create a nice contrast and make it glow. Once the animation is all set and each section is done, I bring everything together in Capcut or Procreate Dreams for the final edit. Capcut is great for quick edits, but if I need more detailed controls, Procreate Dreams gets the job done. If you want me to make a tutorial on how I edited this on Procreate Dreams, tell me in the comments. And that's it, my whole process for creating animations on Procreate. Hopefully you guys found this breakdown helpful. If you did, give the video a like and don't forget to subscribe if you're into content like this. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or want to see more tutorials. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.